everyone, today I'll be presenting on Colistin, also known as Polymyxin E, a drug that serves as a last line of defense against multidrug-resistant gram-negative bacteria. So colistin is a polypeptide antibiotic first isolated in 1947 by Koyama from Penibacillus polymyxa subspecies colistinus. It was introduced for clinical use in the 1950s and officially approved by the US FDA in 1959. However, due to toxicity concerns, its use declined in the 1980s. But with the global rise of multi-drug-resistant bacteria like E. coli, Klebsiella pneumonia, and Acinetobacter baumannii, colistin was revived in the 2000 as a critical last resort treatment. Colistin is a cyclic polypeptide composed of polymyxin E1 and E2. It has both hydrophobic lipophilic fatty acid tail and hydrophilic polycationic heptapeptide ring of amino acid residues. Some key physical and chemical traits include appear to be white to slightly yellow powder, melting point of 200 to 220 degrees Celsius, molecular weight of 1155.4 gram per mole, soluble in water, and act as a polycationic detergent. Colistin have five main pathways of mode of action. Firstly, the classical membrane lysis pathway. Colistin binds to lipid A in the alveolus layer of gram-negative bacteria via electrostatic interaction. This displaces stabilizing cations like calcium and magnesium, disrupting the outer membrane. This organized outer membrane of gram-negative bacteria releases alveolus, allowing it to reach and disrupt the inner membrane. This weakens the physical integrity of the phospholipid bilayer, causing cell lysis. Secondly is anti-endotoxin colistin activity. Colistin binds to lipid A, neutralizes alveolus endotoxin, and prevents excessive inflammatory responses such as septic shock in the host. Next is vesicle-vesicle contact pathway, where colistin brings the outer and inner membrane of the bacteria come into close contact via binding to anionic phospholipids. This promotes membrane fusion that disrupts phospholipid balance, causes osmotic imbalance, and leads to cell lysis. Furthermore, hydroxyl radical death pathway, where colistin induces the production of reactive oxygen species ROS like superoxide and hydroxyl radicals. These ROS damage DNA, proteins, and lipids, leading to oxidative stress and cell death. Lastly, to respiratory enzyme inhibition, where colistin inhibits the type 2 NADH oxidoreductase enzyme in the inner membrane, disrupting the electron transport chain and energy production that leads to cell death of gram-negative bacteria. Colistin resistance is a growing concern and occurs via two major mechanisms. Firstly, chromosomal mediated resistance. By alveolus modification, activation of two component regulatory system leads to the addition of positively charged groups like phosphotamine and LRF41 to lipid A, reducing its negative charge and weakening colistin binding. In Acinetobacter baumannii, mutation in IPX-A, IPX-C, or IPX-D eliminates lipid A, removing colistin target and results in high-level resistance. In Pseudomonas aeruginosa, resistance can occur through the overexpression of efflux pumps such as MAXAB or M, which actively pumps colistin out of the bacterial cell. Second type of resistance is plasmid-mediated resistance. The most well-known example is the MCR1 gene found in E. coli and Klebsiella pneumonia. This gene encodes a phosphoethanolamine transferase that modifies lipid A, reducing colistin binding ability. What makes this particularly dangerous is that MCR1 is located on the plasmid, allowing it to spread quickly through horizontal gene transfer. It can even spread through the food chain across different geographical regions, accelerating the global spread of resistance. So now, what about the cost to produce this drug? Colistin sulfate powder costs around 513 US dollar and approximately 2,203 Malaysian ringgit per unit, while the polymyxin as suspension costs around 49 US dollar equivalent to 211 Malaysian ringgit per bottle. These high costs limit accessibility in some regions, especially where colistin is crucial for treating resistant infection. So, in conclusion, colistin is a life-saving antibiotic, but rising resistant demands that we use it cautiously and wisely. That's all from me. Thank you.